This is a 40-acre forest that my grandpa bought when he was young, and he tended the trees. Here we are in a cedar grove. Notice how the branches curl down and scoop up at the tips. If you look up, you can see the greenery above, all the branches spreading outwards to stretch towards the sun. Look at the beautiful texture of this bark. It feels rough and papery, and you can peel pieces of it off. This was great for waterproofing, and Native Americans would often peel this off and use the underlayers for weaving clothing. One of the most interesting uses of cedar in Native American culture is for the dugout canoe. And this was a very long process that took a lot of hours and a lot of working with tools. So the first step was to find a large cedar tree that's very wide at the base, and then use fire to cut it and chip away at the charcoal. Wet mud and straw was used to control the fire and keep it from climbing too high up the trunk. So the second step is the bark had to be removed, and this needed to happen immediately, or else the sap would seal it to the trunk. The next step was to chop the log to length, and there was a big variety in different lengths of dugout canoes. Some of them were very small and could hold 1 or 2 people, and then others could be 60 or 70 feet long and deliver extended families from summer to winter residences. The next step was a small fire started in the middle of the canoe, and this was carefully lit and then put out to control the burn. And the inside would be completely burned out, and then stone and metal tools starting in the late 1700s would be used to chip away that charcoal and shape the interior. After the exterior was shaped in a similar manner with the adze, the bottom of the boat was burned to seal it and make it a bit stronger. The final step would be that animal grease be smeared across the boat. Also, sometimes dogfish oil was used, and that preserved the boat for many years. They could last up to 30 years with repairs. And it kept it nice and waterproof so that it wouldn't leak when it was out on the water. The final finish for the dugout canoes would be rubbing dogfish skin over the surface of the wood to make it nice and smooth. Well-worn dogfish skin would be used for fine sandpaper, and fresh dogfish skin would be used for the rougher spots. I was interested when I read about Native American canoes. There are different types. So there are 5 types of canoes. The first is a freshwater canoe, and these were small and simple dugouts that looked similar to this, and they would be used for fishing and transporting small numbers of people. Then there are 4 types of ocean-going canoes in the Pacific Northwest. The first is the head canoe, and it looked like this. It had this ornamental scoop at the stern, and then here's the bow. It was notched, and it was used for holding poles and spears in warfare. The second is the northern canoe, which was made by the Haida tribe, and these were very fast, and they had vertical cutwaters for waves. The This is the Salish Coast Canoe, and I was particularly interested in this one because it's what the Native Americans were building right in this area, in Gig Harbor, where I'm from. And I actually decided to build this canoe. Here's a drawing of the canoe that I will be building, and here's the side view. You can see it has the scoop that's classic to the Salish canoe design. And notice that both ends come to a point. Here's a little model that I made out of beach clay. You can see the shape in profile and in plan. I used a very small shell to scoop out the interior, similar to an adze. And then I did the classic way that it would be painted. So it often had a red and a black stripe that would extend all the way along the top of the boat. And then the front would be painted or carved to have ornament, and the back would be much simpler. How about you making a canoe? How about you making a canoe? Making a canoe. How about you?
Making a canoe, how about you? I'm making a canoe, how about you? I'm making a canoe, how about you? I'm making a canoe.
Duck out. Making a canoe, how about you?
Wow, don't be under that,
Making
Neil.
a canoe,
When he was lifting it up with his strap, he's like, make sure your toes are in.
Yeah, well, let's slide it this way as far as we go. Or at least tell the knife where it's sitting.
Well, I'm worried if it goes too much farther, it's going to be off. But then I could make a little seat for it on the inside.
Making a canoe, how about you? My head's stuck in there. I'm just kind of breaking it to get it free. But I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do. The adze was a lot of work. My whole body ached. My arm was tired, my back was tired. I needed a new plan.